Hello generals, welcome to another episode of the Namibia series, and this game is getting a lot more interesting. We are on day 17 and if you remember from the previous episode, we're trying to stop Sweden from expanding to Africa. For this reason I tried to create a corridor, a horizontal corridor through the Algerian provinces. So I also sent him a message telling him that I have informed their leader that they should not expand into Africa, etc., etc. So he did not respond. For this reason I started attacking his forces with my gunships. Remember what we mentioned in a previous episode, that if you say something to a player, for example that you will attack him if he doesn't withdraw, you have to keep your word and materialize your threats. A quick look now in the other fronts that we're fighting. In Mogadishu my NPAs are still fighting that crazy stack of Ethiopia with the ships he had, and also it makes me wonder if he has another stack in Djibouti where he also had a high level naval base. So I keep on wondering what else am I gonna be facing with these inactive players that before they leave they build a lot of units and they make your life really difficult. Nigeria became active again, and around Saudi Arabia we see a couple of naval contacts, meaning that are probably task forces from the UK. So by now, as I mentioned before, I'm convinced that the Europeans are trying to find a weakness in our defenses in order for them to invade us. Now let's talk a bit about another game mechanism, which is the shared damage or the damage distribution, meaning that units that are in stacks or like flying assets in wings, that if they get damaged, they share that damage between them equally. But before we talk about damage distribution, quick reminder for you to remember to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our new videos, and if you leave us a like it would be much appreciated. So in your screens now you see 5 gunships attacking the Swedish forces and 1 gunship being at the airport close by on standby. In simple terms, that standby helicopter is spare parts in a way. So as soon as my gunship wing gets damaged up to a certain point, depending on the hit points its let's say level of your stacks have, I substitute 1 gunship, send it back to my hospital, to my capital, for it to be repaired, and I add that standby helicopter to the stack of the 4, so making it back 5. In this way, and since the damage is shared, you increase the hit points of your stack without having to retreat from your operations, let's say. Our ally Saudi Arabia became active again and he started producing railguns, which is exotic, let's say, unit. And Sweden answered me, but he tried to delay the whole thing, probably because he wanted to discuss it with his allies, and he did not retreat, so I kept on attacking him and trying to destroy his units in Africa. All this time my anxiety was for them, for the European coalition, not to be able to build an airfield in Africa, because they would be able to transport fast their units, and remember that Sweden had strikers, so that was a big threat for me because I had nothing to counter it, so only I could do is proactively destroy those airfields if I spot them. As you can see, I kept on switching my gunships in order to continuously attack Swedish forces and pass the message that he has no option but to retreat. And in the meantime, in Saudi Arabia, things are starting to heat up, because the UK seems to be pressing Saudi Arabia, and now they are at war. Back to our friend Sweden. Now he lost his units that occupied what used to be that Algerian city. I took that city and he sent me a message that he will retreat. I praised him for this decision and I told him the detailed plan. The plan was for him to retreat all his units back to Algiers and he would leave from Africa from Algiers. The remaining provinces and Algiers will be captured by the Nigerian forces. He agreed to that, so I kept once again my word and changed my status against Sweden to peace. Moving on to day 18 now, and as Nigerian forces were capturing the provinces of what used to be Algeria, I realized that Sweden sent a striker wing over the Nigerian forces in and around Algiers, which is not part of our agreement. So that sounded again the alarm to me, and I started looking the potential airports that these strikers might be using as bases, and I found that their base would probably be Rome, the Italian capital, and I had to do something about it. The UK in the meantime attacked Egypt and took some Egyptian cities from Saudi Arabia, and by now we have confirmed what we suspected from the beginning of the game, that the Europeans will try to attack us. The thing is that by attacking them as they land in Africa and by keeping my, let's say, my stance and my ground that we will not let them expand in Africa, I ruin their plans again and again. The first time with Germany, that he backed up after capturing Morocco, now with Sweden, and who knows what will follow. Back to my wars and my fights, I still try to capture all the Ethiopian cities, and he has stacks of let's say motorized infantry in his cities, and I have discovered another task force just off Djibouti, which will again delay my operations by a long time. As the war rages between Saudi Arabia and the UK, I see that Italy started to take part in it, meaning that Italy, let's say, and Sweden follow what the UK is been doing. At the time being, Germany is very quiet, which starts to worry me again. India, our other ally, almost gave up. He is inactive and he's losing his territory from the islanders, the Pacific countries, so things are getting more complicated as we progress in this game. For this reason, I captured Diego Garcia, the island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, so I can use it as a base for my bombers, my MPAs, and of course my UAVs. And as my UAVs are patrolling around the regions that our coalition controls, I spot a stack of Italian units heading east in the Mediterranean, just off Malta. So I take it as a great opportunity for me to start a war against Italy. So I send my bombers out to attack these troops while they are in the sea, in the water. And of course I inform Saudi Arabia that the Italians are heading his way. At the same time, the Swedish strikers destroyed the Nigerian units, which means that I have to start a war again against Sweden. So more wars around the corner with the Europeans. I have to destroy the airport in Rome as well. I have to destroy the Swedish forces in Algiers, but as we run out of time, please remember to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our new videos, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye for now!